I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Council of the Village of Chase, held here at the village office, 826 Okanagan Avenue, and via Zoom. Today, May 13th at 4 p.m. Need a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Herman, Councillor Stevens, any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Number 3, adoption of the minutes. Councillor Stevens, Councillor Torbon, any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Public hearings, none. Public input on current agenda items. This is an opportunity for members of the gallery to provide input on items on this agenda. Is there anybody on Zoom that wishes to speak at this time? Is that a no? Staff? Is that a no? We're good with a no? Okay.
Nobody's unmuted themselves.
Okay. No delegations, reports. April 23rd, I attended a Chase Heat public meeting regarding the sustainability of the hockey club. April 26th, went to the Chase Rotary annual auction fundraiser. April 29th to May 1st, went to Silga and Merritt, and it started off great with a lunch and a tour of the city with the mayor. I attended various workshops, had many conversations with representatives from other communities, found out Chase is doing quite well. May 3rd, I went to the museum AGM, very impressed with the curator and the hard work done by the ladies. May 4th, I went to the Adams Lake Indian Band powwow. May 7th, I got my Fire Smart assessment. And I also went to the Festival Society meeting later on that day. And May 10th, I went to the Fire Hall / Wildfire Awareness Open House. Councillor Connor.
Yes, I did a council meeting April 22nd, and then an in-camera meeting, and then had some phone calls and talked to people about the sewer smell. Mr. Mayor, what are you gonna do about it?
That's your report?
That's it.
Councillor Herman.
April 22nd, Village of Chase Council meeting. April 23rd, I took part in the Chase Community Cleanup Campaign with the CEAS, Chase Environmental Action Society members. April 25th, attended the Earth Day concert at Haldane. April 29th to May 2nd, I was at various seminars at Silga. Some of the good ones that I really enjoyed were Bridging Climate and Economic Resilience, Transforming Communities Through Libraries, Supporting Economic Development in the Southern Interior. One that was called Culture Counts, Stories, Stats, and Secrets to Thriving Communities, which was excellent. And the Future of Rural BC and Business Improvement Areas. And one of the main highlights was a tour of the NVIT University there, and it was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed that. May 10th, the Community Plant Show and Swap, and the Chase Fire Department Open House. We're both busy, which is good. That's my report.
Okay. Councillor Stevens.
Thank you. I attended the last meeting of council. I met with taxpayers regarding a number of topics, including trails, roadwork, parks, overgrown lots, bylaws, and recreation. I emailed the staff and members of council. I met with the CAO briefly. I called Minister Arnold and MLA Ward Stammer regarding Interior Health not performing certain screening for biopsies. So I'm hoping to learn a little bit more about that. On May 8th, I tuned into the Communications in High Stress, High Concern Situations and Environments seminar. I too had a Fire Smart assessment last week, and I attended a few community events and had multiple coffees with residents. Thank you very much.
Councillor Torbon.
April 22nd, council meeting and in-camera meeting. April 29th, 30th, May 1st, 2nd at the SOGA Southern Interior Local Government Association Conference. One of the things I attended was the community foresting, and basically it was pretty good, but licenses are going to be hard to come by now because they're not giving out that many anymore. And over and above that, talked to other members from other communities and basically we're comparing notes. And when I look at the range of things that we talked about, water and all kinds of things, and when you consider people in Peachland just outside the village are paying $6,000 a year just for water, which makes ours look really cheap. So, you know, and most places, most people I talk to in smaller communities were actually paying quite a bit more for water than we are here in Chase. So I'm not really stressed out about the water rates here in Chase. They're pretty reasonable. Also, over and above that, reviewed agenda, monitored emails, consulted with staff if need be, and local inquiries. Just to Colin's comment about the sewer smell, I don't know if you read the email that just came out that the sewer smell is being dealt with. My understanding is that it is, right, Mike? We just got an email that says it's being dealt with.
So, through the CAO, yes, so starting last week, I believe it was Wednesday, I became aware of the sewer smells. So on Thursday, we added some additional proenzyme into the lagoon, just to try and feed that bacteria, get it working. On the Thursday as well, we normally we have two lagoons that are working, but the primary lagoon, the first lagoon, is the stuff that takes most of the solids. So we actually moved the aeration all to that first lagoon. We're assuming that those pipes are filled with wipes and that sort of thing. So there's just not enough air getting into the lagoons to activate the bacteria and keep it going. So we've added in that proenzyme mix last week, and hopefully at the end of this week, early next week, we'll have a contractor in to clean out the aeration pipes, and then it'll be a few days, and hopefully the smell is a lot better than it currently is. I think from my own perspective, the difference between kind of late last week and early this week, we are kind of on the improving end right now. That some of those things that we have done, the proenzyme mix and adding the air to the first lagoon is helping, so we're working towards that end goal.
Is that your report, Councillor Torval?
And that's my report, yeah.
Okay, so we have staff reports, so through to the CAO, we have a bunch of reports. Is there anything that you wish to discuss or talk about?
No, Mr. Mayor, there's nothing that I feel needs to be added, anything from either you or Mike? No, we think we've covered everything off, hopefully. Yes, if there's any questions, we'd be happy to
Any
answer.
questions from council to staff regarding their reports?
Yeah.
Councillor Connor.
Yeah, Mike, you said here the wading pool is being ready for use. Have you fixed the leak that was supposedly there?
So through the CAO, we filled the pool. The leak is not in the drain system. There is an ongoing issue with there's 4 small return pipes that go to the corners of the pool, and there appears to be a small leak somewhere in kind of one of those sort of pipes. It's a leak that we've been dealing with for about 10 years right now, so we do have some ideas if we want to fix it up in the fall this year, but it's going to be, we're preparing it right now for use for this.
And as for the sewer and that, so you're using the main, putting all the air to the other one, to the main one. Now the other one, the bacteria is gonna die in it, because you don't have any oxygen in it.
That is, through the
So you're gonna
CAO.
kill it, is what you're doing.
That is the balance that we're playing with right now. Looking at the actual pipes, not all of the air can be diverted. There is still kind of a small amount that's getting into lagoon number 2. But as we kind of address this issue, we will be flipping kind of back and forth, because we do want to make sure that we're maintaining the health of both of those areas.
So, with the air going in there, is it enough air that's going in the first one or not? Or is that just a bunch of,
We're putting as much air as we possibly can.
Yeah,
I
but
believe
is
that pipe is clogged with
it's
with
full of
tissue,
water?
with tissue,
It was,
with wipes and that sort of thing.
if there's air coming out, nothing can go in it.
In the holes.
If the pressure's, if there's more pressure on the outside than the air's going in, water's getting inside. It's happened before. Yeah, it's gonna be an ongoing thing. I think that plumbing down there sucks. And also, the cemetery planning, preparing additional cremation plots. Is there enough cremation plots out there right now?
Currently, I believe we have, we're currently down to, I believe, 3 cremation plots left. But we do have a bunch of others that have been staked out.
Is that above that?
It is above that. We know it's very rocky, and so.
It's all rock.
So what we're going to be doing, right now, I believe that there's about 30 plots in there for cremations. So we're going to have the backhoe go in and pre-excavate those areas. Mark off any areas that currently have a bunch of rock there that we can't utilize, and so we'll sterilize those lots. And get a better handle on what we currently do have in there, because presumably we have 12 to 25 or something like that would be usable out of the 30 or so that are there.
So when they get used up, where's it going then?
Then there's a few other small areas that we can infill, or we can also take a look at some of the full-size plots that we have and dividing those.
Well, that's what they used to do, is just take a row
Cremation plots.
and divide it and stuff like that, I think.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot easier. That's all I got.
Okay, anybody else? Oh, Councillor Stevens.
I just have a question either for the CO or for the Public Works Manager. I saw you both out with either CP or CN Rail today. Did that conversation include the busted pavement along the tracks on Pine Street? It's got really bad over the last couple of weeks there. It's like driving through a ditch and going over, and I was just wondering if that was part of the conversation today, and if not, could it be part of the conversation in the future?
It definitely can be a conversation in the future. We were out with the Ministry of Transportation actually.
Okay, perfect.
Just looking at some signage as part of kind of the project that they're doing. They're gonna provide us some directional signage in town. So that's what we were looking at today, but we can definitely contact CP and take a look at that.
Thank you.
Yes.
So through to the CAO, I'm gonna throw it at you, because don't we do some maintenance? We pay for maintenance every year on the,
We pay a monthly fee to CPKC for the rail crossings. Yeah, it's not for, it's basically a fee for us to actually use those crossings.
so any of the maintenance we pay for?
Typically we do, yes. So if they do a major upgrade like they did a number of years ago pre-COVID, we had to pay for that upgrade. That's correct, yeah.
They should be paying us for
Well, it's
having
their
crossings
line
in
and,
town.
yeah, no, it's their line. They take precedence because they're a federally regulated transportation service, and we get to cross, we are allowed to cross their line.
Even if they clean the ice up, if they shovel it, you're getting a bill.
Okay, any other questions from council? See none, need a motion to accept the reports. Councillor Stevens, Councillor Herman, all in favor? Carried. Number 8, unfinished business, zoning amendment 909 Trans-Canada Highway. This bylaw has received first, second, and third readings. And the statutory right-of-way to the property has been registered. And we can now adopt the zoning. Councillor Herman?
I move that zoning bylaw amendment number 946, 2025 be adopted.
Seconded. Councillor Connett, any discussion? I'd just like to thank staff for all of the hard work getting access into that area. So thank you very much. Very good work. 8.2. Oh, did we, pardon me? Oh, sorry, all in favor? Carried, thanks. I'm good to go now? 8.2 temporary use permit 2025-1, report from the Director of Corporate Operations. There's a recommendation there. Is there anything else that Director of Corporations would like to add at this time?
No, sir.
Okay, so there's a recommendation
I'll
there.
move.
Councillor Gordon?
I'll move that council issue a temporary use permit that would allow commercial storage on P2 zone parcel conditional on property meeting the screening requirements for an initial term of 2 years.
Second, Councillor Stevens. Discussion? Councillor Coniff?
That is where the church is, in that vacant lot there, and that's where that young fellow's, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually their parking lot.
Yeah,
But,
and-
yeah. It doesn't really get used for parking that
No.
often.
Any other discussion? All in favor? That's carried. 8.3, 2025 to 2029 financial plan bylaw, 9/47/2025. The bylaw had first 3 readings on April 22nd, 2025, and there's a recommendation here. Councillor Stevens?
Yeah, I move that the 2025 to 2029 financial plan bylaw number 947-2025 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor Herman. Discussion? One thing I wanted to point out was the great job by staff. When you look at page 25, you'll see that 37% of our budget was from other sources, no, not other sources, were from grants. $7 million, so we actually have a $19 million budget this year, was just incredible, so thanks to staff and whoever managed to get us all that money, so great job. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Carried. 8.4, 2025 tax rate bylaw 948/2025. This bylaw had first 3 readings on April 22nd. Recommendation there. Councillor Herman?
I'll move that the 2025 tax rates bylaw number 948/2025 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor Stevens. Discussion? All in favor? That's carried. 8.5, Fire Smart Garden Project, request for support. There's a report from the Manager of Public Works, and there are recommendations, but through the CAO, is there anything the Manager of Public Works would like to add?
Anything you'd like to add, Mike?
I think the report, unless there's any questions from council.
So there's a recommendation there. Does someone want to make that? Councillor Stevens?
Yeah, I move that council direct staff to provide in-kind contributions of larger feature rocks and machine work to Chase and Area Family Services to assist in construction of the Fire Smart Garden project at 227 Wilson Street. And that council provide financial support in the amount of $7,500 to the Chase and Area Family Services to assist in construction of the Fire Smart Garden project at 227 Wilson Street, to be funded from the park's operational budget.
You have a seconder? Councillor Herman? Discussion? Councillor Stevens?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about this project is it's an educational area. They proved how great they are at creating gardens already in Wilson Park. It's another green space for the community, adds some community resiliency as well for wildfire threat. And yeah, I think this is so cool. So thank you very much to the Chase and Area Family Services for bringing this forward.
Any other discussion? Councillor Coniff and then Councillor Herman?
Yeah, with the equipment going in there, which is great, and probably, I know Mick has helped a lot down there. Hopefully they can, without any other phone or something like that, if they had to use it on the weekend or something, they could go over and grab their little excavator without any problems. And move some stuff around. Lots of times they work on weekends and stuff like that. For, to start fixing stuff up and that.
Okay.
Probably just important maybe for me to kind of clarify, here for, the request is basically for the equipment and the operator time. I don't know what our response, we would need to kind of figure out, how we would be able to assist if there was a request for, weekend use of our equipment. There are some kind of pretty big financial liabilities and insurance risks, associated with kind of the lending of our equipment. We don't generally do that.
No, you wouldn't lend it, I mean, Mick would, staff has to run it, I mean, you can't just say, oh, you come and get it.
I see what you're saying.
Absolutely, yeah, and like I say, Mick, I bet you he's gonna be involved with that, he was involved, quite a bit with the other one too.
So I'm just wondering, Councillor Connor, it sounds like maybe the manager of Public Works is allotted time already, like during the week, for the Public Works to go in there, is that what he's saying?
I've, through the CAO, I've allowed some time here, depending on the request that comes through, from Chase and Area Family Services. I will do my absolute best to accommodate them in the most fiscally responsible manner possible.
Excellent. Councillor Herman.
I was just gonna say that I like the fact that it's going to connect all these our walking trails from Pollinator Gardens to Food Forest, it'll be really great.
Any other discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Number 9, new business, cemetery bylaw 949/2025. Report from the Director of Corporate Operations, and is there anything the Director of Corporations would like to add at this time?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So my report is included in today's agenda, and I think if I was able to summarize the report, there's 5 overarching reasons or rationale or background to why we're updating our cemetery bylaw. Probably the first one is that it's 24 years old, and in 24 years a lot has changed in Victoria in terms of legislation, Consumer Protection Act, and some of these higher level policies that we need to adhere to. And so this bylaw adheres to all those changes and cleans up our bylaw to meet 24 years of changes in Victoria. The second overarching reason is we've purchased the Stone Orchard software, which moved us away from paper records and literally parchment paper and like a Dewey Decimal System file folder system into the modern age, digital records. It's just more secure. It's a better system for clientele. It's better for staff. It has a mapping component. It's really great. So the integration between the bylaw and our software. There's also integration with the proposed cremation garden. So some of the new features in the garden include a scattering garden, a memorial wall, these columbaria, and there's some other features in there. So it integrates these new features, which are modern installations in cemeteries almost everywhere. And the other thing this bylaw hopes to address is economic sustainability, so that we're keeping our revenues and our costs in line with our costs. And we also have to keep in mind future growth. So as we talked about just moments ago, we have a finite amount of space. And so one of the goals of this sort of all-encompassing cemetery project is to increase our density. So getting more units per unit of land, more cemetery units per units of land. And so this brings all that together as well. And that's why there is a cemetery bylaw, but the cemetery rate bylaw go hand in hand. They work together. And that's all. Thank you.
If there's a recommendation there, Councillor Stevens.
Yeah, I move that the Village of Chase Cemetery Bylaw 949-2025 be given the first 3 readings.
Seconded by Councillor Herman. Discussion? Councillor Torba?
I just wanted to say, like, you said that the bylaw has been updated for 24 years. I think some of the bylaws, as new things come out, we may want to look at them sooner rather than wait 24 years to update ones. You know, it would just seem more reasonable as things come out that we discuss them and make sure that not only in that bylaw, but any other bylaws that we have in the village are updated to current standards. So when I heard that 24 years was the same bylaw, well, we all know things have changed a lot. So yeah, I'd like to see us update our bylaws a little more frequently if we can.
Councillor Stevens?
I really like the new updated fees as well. I remember maybe it was a year ago we were talking about the dwindling number of plots and people coming from out of community to bury their loved ones here because it was cheap. So now I see that we have maybe this is not new, but we do have a resident and a non-resident fee here, and they're substantially different. So I think this is fantastic. That's it.
Anybody else? Councillor Connor?
Yeah, page 19, it says vaults and liners, vaults are required for double deck casket burials. Vaults and liners are not required for single deck and casket burials. When did this start?
This is new to council.
So this is in the new bylaw?
Yeah, that's correct. But it's not a new paradigm. This is something that's been happening in cemeteries in BC for a while because about 5 years ago, the Consumer Protection Act now allows green burials, but it's optional. So if somebody really prefers to do a green burial, now they have an option to do it, and they don't have to pay for the liner. But it's just an option. We want to provide as many options as possible.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, it lowers the cost. If somebody wants to be buried in a casket, normal way and stuff like that, you don't need a liner then. This is what I'm saying. And the reason that they had them in there before was maintenance sake, because the coffin disintegrates, now you got a hole, right? Now you got to patch it and stuff like that. And usually when that happens, the headstone goes like this and stuff like that. But I think it's great. I mean, it lowers the cost of it. It makes a difference.
Okay, any other discussion from council for 9.1? Okay, all in favor? Carried. 9.2 fees and charges amendment bylaw 950/2025, the recommendation there. Councillor Herman?
I move that the fees and charges amendment bylaw number 950/2025 be given first 3 readings.
Seconded by Councillor Stevens. Discussion? Any discussion?
I gave my discussion in the last one, but
Okay, all in favor? 9.2 is carried. 9.3, letter of congratulations to Mel Arnold. I'm going to move that council send a letter of congratulations to Mel Arnold for being re-elected as the Member of Parliament for the County's Shuswap Central Rockies electoral riding. Seconded by Councillor Herman. Any discussion? All in favor?
What did you vote for?
All in favor? That's carried.
Along with the letter, let's put some requests in there, some action.
Okay, number 10, notice of motion.
The one is the railway crossing, the railway.
Do we have a, number 10, we're on notice of motion. Anybody have a notice of motion? Okay, seeing that, we're on to number 11 in camera. Does someone want to read that one out? Councillor Herman?
I move that council recess to an in-camera meeting pursuant to section 91 of the Community Charter, paragraph K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at municipality if they were held in public.
Okay, seconded. Counselor Stevens, do we do second and all in favor on these? Okay. All in favor? That's carried, and we'll now take a 5-minute break and go in camera.